It's a good test of their balance and how that's going to affect them. Horses, you think about balance, their personal balance is crucial. They learned how to balance and walk and run at 2-3 hours old. And the only time in their lives they've been out of balance, it's been a bad deal. So when we come along and say, hello, I'm going to step up on the side of you here, and you're going to be thrown out of balance, and then when I ride you and I look like a sack of potatoes, you're really going to be out of balance. But it's okay. That's asking a lot of a horse. So I like to, pretty early on, get him used to quite a bit of affecting of that balance, and then show him that that's going to be okay. That's just going to be part of the deal. And I'm going to ride as much as I can in the middle of them, but I don't want them freaking out or getting worried. And that seems to, from what I understand, that seems to be a big part of this horse's problem, is that kind of tweak, that kind of movement right there. And again, it could go back to something physical, which I think I already suggested to the owner and handler that they get more than one opinion on this horse, particularly maybe not only a chiropractor, but maybe an osteopath or a couple other people, just to have a look over it and see what they find. So, ooh, there, buddy. Another thing I like to do is just, hello, fella. Okay, you see where I'm sort of sticking with him, letting him move. Yeah, boy. And I'm rocking the saddle back and forth a little bit back here, too, on the cantle. Okay? Now, as long as he doesn't come unglued, I want to try to stick with him there. Because he's getting worried. He's thinking reaction might be the answer right about now. And I want to show him that it's not the answer, ever. Not ever. Just stick with me, and everything's going to be okay. All right? Now, the fringe on my leggings is perfect for just desensitizing right there, okay? Because, let me tell you, the first time you go to step up on one and you haven't done that, things can get interesting in a hurry. Okay, some of them could care less, and some of them care quite a bit more, like this guy. He's starting to think that maybe that means something. Okay, sometimes it's the noise, sometimes it's where it touches him. I'm just going to sort of stick with him and not worry about touching him with it, but just keep making the movement and the noise. Good boy. There you go. Keep rocking the saddle. Attaboy. Attaboy. Good boy. This is the same thing I do with all the young ones that I start. Again, I don't think any of you regularly bounce up and down next to your horse. But that's more life. That's a higher level of life than reality most of the time. However, we get them used to a generally higher level of life and pressure and just stuff going on, and then normal life is just a piece of cake. But when normal life suddenly becomes very unnormal, I know that's not a word, but when it suddenly, and you're just as surprised as the horse is about what's unfolding before your very eyes, you've been there mentally with the horse. The horse has been there with you. You've challenged that comfort zone, and you've shown them how to stick with you, or at least how to come back to you as quick as they can. And that's where your safety is going to come into play, you see. Because at the end of the day, these guys want to get reactive and quit us. They're going to do just that. But if we prepare them the best we can for those things, that's better. Then we've got a much better chance of them sticking with us and just hanging with us there through that bit of trouble and coming out the other end in one piece. And at the end of the day, I think most of us, that's kind of what we'd like. Am I right? Okay? Now, you notice there's some licking and chewing right there. You notice it takes a bit of time with this horse sometimes to just settle and start accepting things. He's still not too sure about a lot of this, but he's starting to sort of get willing to stay with me a little bit and not thinking maybe that every time I do something out of the ordinary, I mean for him to just leave, and get worried. Boy. Attaboy. Good boy. So we have just a few more minutes here. Are there any other questions? He fell asleep. And he's wondering what these guys over here are doing. And that's all it took. Easy. Good boy. Good boy. So you can't ever take anything for granted. And you better not fall asleep yourself. Easy. Good boy. You're all right. Good boy. Atta fella. Atta fella. Good boy. I'll tell you one thing. Straight up. It's a little disconcerting when they're coming right for you like that. Good boy. You're all right. Okay, so I know we're about out of time, but this horse isn't done yet. With a good session anyway. We were just about good there for what we got done, but we'll need to get him to a better frame of mind just here as quick as we can. Easy fella. Attaboy. So just letting him work quietly around, work it out, figure out what the right answer is. And as soon as he starts getting that head down a little bit, there he's blinking his eye a little bit. Atta-fella. Good boy. Hey, no, I gotta be over there. All right. Right there. Good. That was real good right there. He just took that side away from me a little bit. Side that I had ended on and was kind of bringing him in on. He cut me off. Forced me onto this side. So instead of making a big deal out of it, I'm just going to let him go back to work on this side. And when I did, actually, he sort of started to move into a bit of reaction. He moved kind of to his right quite a bit, put a little bend in his rib cage there, and stayed in response. So that was really good. Attaboy. Attaboy. There, good boy. Attaboy. All right, we'll take that. Good boy. Attaboy. A lot of this bending work is what this horse needs. Just quiet bending under response. And, if you needed to get a flag or something to keep your distance and to, be a little more effective, not even necessarily a flag, sometimes just maybe a stick or something that would just help him bend around there, but without you having to get so close to him. Because the last thing you need is to be stomped because you're too close trying to get him to bend and stuff. Yeah, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Well, he's coming to a better place. He's coming to a much better place. We'll give him a chance to just rest here in a moment. This was the side he took away from me a moment ago. And so I might just see what might happen if I just stop him here. Attaboy. Attaboy. Good boy. This was the side. One reason he took that away from me, which he hasn't really done before, is because this is the side he got worried on. That there, at the last there. This was where he had that trouble. Good boy. Come on. I'll tell you another reason he might have blown there is because he stood still for too long. Okay? He stood still for too long. And so obviously in a working session, I probably never would have stood that long. But I let him stand still for too long while I was answering questions and stuff. And of course he got a bit distracted. Next thing he knows, he's kind of forgot what all that sort of felt like while he was moving. And he made a little movement, set him off again. Okay? So that reaction is still very much there. Now do you see why I didn't want to ride him? Yeah. I don't know. There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. I try to stay on the south side of that line. But, it's no good for him either to buck somebody else off. So we want to try to prepare him and help him through that. There's a boy. Don't stand still for too long. Come on, let's move.